Welcome back, everybody, to more from the Stabilize. I'm here today with Matt and Jordan. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
As good as I can be.
Jordan's upset because he's playing Shedinja. Matt's happy because he's not playing Shedinja, although unfortunately you are going to have to play against it.
Yeah, I can deal with that. That's fine.
Mitch is making me play Shedinja for the second time in a row. He doesn't want to step in and take the toll off of me. But
no, I know how to get out of playing a bad deck.
Just get me to play it, because I never say no to playing cards.
So heads or tails?
Heads, please.
Tails it is, I'll go first.
Always go tails. One time I don't go tails. It's a head. Alright. I've got an interesting opening hand. It's one of those hands that could very easily lose me the game, but it could work out pretty well for me as well.
That's alright, I'm not very happy about my starter.
I mean, it means it's not... it's probably a Dedenne, if I had to guess.
Yep.
I'll go to Ranger. Eraser Ranger is a pretty good opener for this matchup. And this is actually a pretty close matchup, I'd say, overall, because this is the... obviously, it's a Pikarom list, but specifically it is the Lysander Labs version of Pikarom, which is one of my favorite versions of Pikarom, and Lysander Labs is pretty good against Shedinja, I would say. So, alright, starting off with Electromagnetic Radars. Usually a pretty good thing in a Pikarom.
Cards, isn't it?
Yep, Scuds is basically an Ultra Ball for 2 Lightning-type GXs.
Cool.
So it's usually going to get yourself your attacker and or maybe some draw support with another Dedenne, or even your Zero Aura if you need some free retreat. There's lots of good stuff you can do with Electromagnetic Radar.
Well,
it's also good for just Pokemon communication and stuff. You can use it to grab 2 Pokemon, use Pokemon communication to get one of them. You want to go second Pokemon?
Yeah, I got Pikarom.
Oh, you got a big one. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that wasn't on the bench already.
Alright, I think we can giddy up.
So, what's even better than having an Electromagnetic Radar in your opening hand is having 2 Lightning Energy as well. So now your Tapu Koko Prism is going to be pretty good to go.
I had 3.
You had 3, oh boy.
So, alright, what we're going to do is I reckon we'll switch.
Yep, seems fair.
And then we'll do Dedenne, getting rid of communication and energy switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'd say one of the tough things about this matchup is the fact that you've got a lot of ways to take prizes without having to go through Shedinja. You've got Lysander Labs, obviously, you've got Custom Catcher, so I really need to be able to set up quickly before you get too many early prizes, or you're just going to get way too far ahead.
Well, I can't do anything else, so your turn.
No supporter even. Oh, that's good news for me. Alright.
No,
I've just got a really good top deck as well.
I'm saving all the supporters for endgame.
Seems fair to me. So I've got the Professor Elm top decks.
Yep.
Can't complain about that. I typically want to go for 2 Blitzel and an Nincada with this. And now that I'm not versing a Giratina, I don't have to worry about my Nincada getting sniped turn 2. Although, I don't know, maybe you can pull off a turn 2 Tag Bolt, but at this point I don't see you getting 6 energy on the active.
Or maybe. I mean, I am 1 energy switch down.
Yeah, I mean, if you get an attachment and a Cocoa Prism and like double energy switch, then you got 4 on the active with Thunder Mountain, you'd be 1 off, but I don't think you're going to be able to get to the 5 plus Thunder Mountain.
We'll
be asking for a little too much there. So I got the Elm, and that's realistically all I need to do, I think, on this turn. Actually, I might not even want to bench. Well, it's kind of tough because I'm holding Pokemon Communication, so before I bench the second Blitzel, I might actually run a Pokegear and see what my supporter for next turn is going to be. If I don't have any good supporters, I might actually hold the Blitzel, because I've got Pokemon Communication in hand to find some Zebstrikers. But I did get the Elm off of the Pokegear, so that'll give me some communication targets for next turn. So I'm quite happy to bench this Blitzel, Elm to hand, and I'll pass it over to you.
No worries, we'll draw for turn. Hoping I can get something like a reset stamp. Since it's giving me all this information.
I mean, the reset stamp is certainly not a card you really need to save for late game against Shedinja. If you want to use it early game to screw me over, that's perfectly a fine way to start the game.
Well, I mean, it could potentially give you an opportunity to miss a Zebstriker as well, which, as we know, Shedinja needs those Zebstrikers to really put in the miles and get cards drawn, so potentially could be good.
I certainly do, especially since Matt did just see me take the Professor Elm to hand, and he knows I'm holding a couple Pokemon Communications, so he knows I have access to Zebstriker, but hey, it's not that big a deal if you don't get it. The bigger deal is, are you going to be able to get the knockout this turn? You've already manually attached, so if you get the Thunder Mountain, then you've just got it, which is sweet, but...
You know what, let's just, triple Dedenne.
More Dedennes.
Yep. So what you're saying is, if I can keep a Shrine of Punishment in play for 8 turns or something, then I just automatically win the game.
Why not?
I'm cool with that. But you do need to like be really aggressive. You can't afford to just have slow turns in this deck. You do need to keep going. And hey, you can use Tingly Return potentially if you need to.
But I need to find my options for this deck, so...
Yep.
So we've got that. You can cut if you want, mate.
Also, you've got the Lightning Energy in discard already, so if you find the Tapu Koko, you're going to be able to get a whole bunch of energy into the board pretty quickly. But hey, you got the Thunder Mountain, so I wouldn't be too worried about it.
I was about to say, a Thunder Mountain is the key. And you've got it, so...
So, what did NA change?
It's not too often you see 3 Dedenne in play on the second turn of the game, Mitch.
And it's also not that often that you see a deck that's not going to be able to punish him for doing that, Jordan.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I was in Matt's shoes, you're probably not super worried about having 3 Dedenne, because what are you going to do, knock one of them out with a Circuitry?
Yeah, totally. I'll knock all 3 of them out simultaneously with Shrine.
Let's full blitz.
Yep, seems strong. Where's it going? Do you go all in and put it on the active? And hope I miss Mew, even though I'm holding an Elm?
Yeah, I missed the stamp, so I reckon we might let's set up a Tingly Return.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you're not going to Tag Bolt, it's honestly probably the second best GX attack you can use. You can potentially even get a knockout with it.
And I'm thinning the deck as well, so...
Yeah.
I think that's the key, is that you're going to need to play down an Incarter. If Matt can get a couple of custom catches, he can take a free knockout with Tingly Return and remove one of those Dedenne from the field and potentially use it again.
Yeah, I'm kind of just banking on those Dedenne staying in play, because I do have the Shrine Punishment in hand, which is pretty strong. It's going to allow me to put a clock on.
It's quite punishing, wouldn't you say?
It is quite punishing, but he's got the Tingly Return.
I get to play with dice again.
Yay! Roll those dice. Put them all individual dice. Count them up. There's 5 Pokemon there.
4.
Right, so I'm going to Elm for the Shedinja, and I'm just going to get any 2 random 60 HP Pokemon. What's the first 2 I come across? Those 2 will do. Because I will reveal 2 Pokemon Communication, chuck those 2 back in, and we'll get these Zeb Strikers. So pretty decent combination there. Getting the Elm double Communication to get double Zeb Striker, and I can evolve the Shedinja into the active. What is nice is because you didn't put the energy on the Zekrom, it's kind of giving me a little bit more leeway. I don't have to dig for a Mew this turn, which is nice. Like, I could have gotten it off the Elm, obviously, but
yeah,
gives me a little more versatility. Now, I've already supported. I will go for another Pokegear. Maybe I can fit in another dead supporter out of my deck. For example, I've still got this...
I should take a prize too.
Oh yeah, you can totally do that. There's no Shedinjas in play yet. I'll take the How, which is actually a Mars proxy.
Yep.
If you watched our last video, you'd know that How is a pretty good proxy for Mars, even though I don't think I used it at all.
No, I don't think it did.
That's alright. So yeah, I'll play E-Power just in case, even though I don't think it's going to matter, and I'll just use my first sprint, discard that hand, draw 4 cards. Hopefully I can get my board going pretty well here. It's actually a pretty good kind of hand to get a Blitzel, an Incarter, and an Oranguru, which are probably the 3 best Pokemon to bench. Now, unfortunately, I do have to sprint another Zeb Striker. I could have held it, but I think it's probably worth just digging a little more into my deck this turn. I don't really need to use Resource Management right now because I don't really have any game-breaking cards in my discard pile. It would be nice to get the Power Pad back, I suppose, but I've got plenty of time to do that. So I'm just going to settle for putting a Shedinja onto my Oranguru, and I think I might actually just pass. I don't have an energy in my hand, and even if I did, I would probably favor putting it on Zeb Striker because I don't need to use Resource Management this turn. So yeah, I'll just pass, and
here comes the fun part.
yeah, we can put the 10 damage on the board, everyone.
Alright, draw for turn. Alright, cool.
This time you're going to have to work a little harder to get your prize card. Oh,
Nope, he got it.
You've done it.
Don't worry about it. He's got
He
it.
still needs an energy. He might not have an energy.
This
Mitch.
is true.
He did put the energy on the Dene, so if he doesn't have one in hand, it's going to be slightly harder to find. I mean, you could also just have an energy switch. That would work as well. But hey, I'm still hopeful that this isn't going to pan out.
Well,
What do
hey,
I need?
Electropowder not a particularly strong card in this matchup.
That is true.
I think we might just thin some
I
more
mean,
cards.
it actually could be if he does
Tingly
choose to.
Return.
Yeah, if you go for the Tingly Return play.
Electromagnetic Radar will fail, and Cynthia.
Yep. So if you miss the lightning energy, but instead you draw more electro powers, you can get the knockout with Tingly Return instead of with Full Blitz, which would be quite amusing. How many E-powers do you need to knock out a
2 more.
Oranguru? 2 more.
2 more.
That's an expensive Tingly Return.
It is, but is it worth it? Maybe. Probably
I mean,
not.
I feel like it's much easier to find an energy, but you really don't want to play the Lysander Labs down and not get a prize out of it, because if I am able to replace the stadium, it's going to be real punishing. To be fair though, that's the good thing about Lysander Labs is I'm not always going to be able to place it straight away, and each Lysander Labs could potentially give you 2, maybe 3 prize cards even if you're lucky. It's guaranteed to give you 1 though, usually.
I missed the energy.
Well, that's unfortunate. Did you get the triple E power though?
No, but I don't need the triple E power. How many cards have got in hand?
I got 4.
4. Alright, I'll take the Ninkata.
Oh boy, that's equally strong.
So it's obviously disappointing that Matt isn't able to take the knockout in the Orangaroo here, but Tingly return. That's fine.
That's right.
It's going to make that
Who doesn't want a Tingle?
that Shrine of Punishment win condition for me excessively slower.
Tingly return.
Zap.
That's quite annoying. I mean, I'm okay with the Shedinja surviving.
The GX counter gets flipped there now as well, traditionally.
Yep.
As is the rule.
And then I reckon what we'll do is we'll just bring this one back up.
Seems good.
It just has the Shrine of Punishment.
I do.
in hand.
I've actually got a broken hand. I've got the last Shrine of Punishment in my hand already. I had a Shedinja in my hand, which I was going to play, but instead I just top decked an Ninkata, and I even have the 3rd Zeb Striker. So we're going to Pokey Gear. I'll have a look to see what supporter I give myself access to
I'm
this turn.
just going to quickly play with the cat for a bit. So if you hear any jingling, whoa, it might be her.
That seems fair. So I'm going to go for the Lieutenant Surge off of the Palpad because it's actually active right now. So I'll go ahead and play the Surge, which means the next 2 supporters I draw I can actually use, which is kind of cool. Surge is in play. I'll just leave that there to remind us that Surge is active, and I'll use my first sprint to discard Shedinja. Nothing too exciting going on there. I mean, I did draw 2 more Shedinja. That's a little exciting, I suppose. I'm going to use my second supporter for the turn, I think, as a Brock's Grit. Get some of these Shedinja pieces back, because I am going to need them in the near future. Zeb Striker, not as useful, but a Orangaroo is certainly not a bad card. Actually, I haven't drawn an Angie yet this game. I don't need one yet, but it is a card I would like to get in the near future.
It helps.
And then the third supporter for turn I'm going to play right away is actually going to be Tate and Liza for the shuffle effect. Chuck the Shedinjas back in.
Yep.
And I've still got 2 more sprints. This deck's broken, man. I get to sprint 3 times. I get to play 3 supporters. I just don't get to attack and do damage.
How many knockouts are you going to take this turn?
Yeah. I mean, none this time, but it's coming, trust me. Alright, we're going to grab 5 cards off the Tate and Liza. Anything impressive here? I mean, it's not
Not really.
bad. I can probably bench Ninkata, I suppose. It's probably the most valuable card here. I guess I'll just Pokey Gear. See if I can fit out another dead supporter. That looks like a dead supporter to me. So we'll go ahead and take Elm, and that's going to be immediately sprinted away. Grabbing 4 more cards with my second sprint. I've got 1 more. 8 more cards to find an energy, but even if I miss it, I'm not really too fussed, to be honest. Alright, second attempt. Still no energy, but nothing too crucial. How many cards you got there?
We've got 8.
Well, I'm going to bring that down to 4 with this stamp.
No worries.
And we'll go for the third sprint.
There goes those energies that you had there, Matt.
That's fine.
Alright,
I'll just draw
found
them
them
again. I'll just Jordan them.
You just Jordan them straight back.
I found some energy. Alright, so I'm going to resource management. I'm going to grab back the stamp. I'm going to grab back the shrine and the Palpad. They seem like the most valuable cards to get back at this point.
So obviously Jordan quite scared of the Lysander Labs, so having an extra stadium is probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, in this matchup in particular, I really want to make sure there's always a Shrine of Punishment in my deck, because if he ever gets rid of my only Shrine of Punishment in deck with a lab, it basically guarantees the lab's going to stay in play for 2 turns, and that's a very quick way for me to lose this matchup.
How many cards you got in hand?
I got 3.
3. Alright, so we'll attach return.
I would say what is the best thing for me that happened last turn is that you used both a Lysander Labs and double custom catcher, and you only got 1 prize card for it, whereas usually those 2 cards would get you 2 prize cards if you use them on consecutive turns. But I mean, hey, sometimes you miss an energy attachment and it sucks.
Yeah.
Vulcan means you're not going to miss an energy attachment though, but you've
No.
already attached one, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I gotta wonder, what is it even? Can you get stadiums with Vulcan? I think you can only get items, right?
I think you can only get
Trainers.
items.
No, it is items actually.
No worries.
Well, you're not getting that this time. Is it
fine.
still Vulcan is still the support you want to play, knowing you can't get labs?
Yeah, because it's the only one I got in hand.
Makes sense to me. Can't even get another supporter. Man, Vulcan would be really good if it did that.
It would be Skylar, wouldn't it?
It'd be better, Skylar.
It gets an energy as well.
Yes.
You've played a bunch of Zapdos, haven't you? I'm surprised you didn't know what Vulcan did.
It just
Just-
there was
sometimes
too
you
many
just forget.
items in there, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Always
never
get
go
items.
for anything else.
When,
Just go,
when
"Oh,
would you ever get
anything
something
else?"
that's non-item
That's
if you're
right.
playing Zapdos? But Hey man, if you could Vulcan for Fonda Mountain, oh boy, that'd be a good time.
Well, and you can Vulcan now for Stadium Nav or whatever it's called. You can flip 2 coins to try and find a stadium, so that might find its way into Pikachu. I've seen it in some lists, but flipping coins sucks.
I like flipping coins. We're the timeable boys, don't forget, Mitch.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's a good point. I can't argue with that.
Alright, so grabbing a custom catcher. That's a scary card to see you take.
And then we'll just full blitz.
Yep. Are you going to accelerate, or are you just happy with run the active?
I will accelerate.
Put them all on the active. Go crazy.
And I'll just chuck some damage counters on your board while you're not looking.
Yep.
Hopefully you don't notice.
Yeah.
Alright,
Make him
going
get the Mew.
on the active. That is annoying to say the least, but it's not game breaking. Draw. Okay, that's not a bad card. Have I got any Pokemon communication in deck? Oh, the Mew's in discard. That's real awkward.
Yay!
Oh boy, you're going to make me work for this turn.
Yay!
So I'm actually just going to have to sprint this away because I have to play Brock this turn. Man, I really don't like what you did there, Matt.
You're welcome.
Yay! He didn't draw Brock. Screw Greninja. I mean. Sorry.
Hang on.
Second trade.
Shedinja. It's
Oh
a
boy.
Freudian slip
I
there.
just drew an interesting hand
Some
there.
Shedinjas.
I'm going to
Did
put
you
both of
ever?
those down. And I'm going to custom catcher for 2. I'm definitely drawing cards on this turn. It's quite exciting. I've got 1 sprint to go, so I guess we're going to do that.
Not even going to custom catcher for one extra card.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll go for the 3rd and final sprint. So this guarantees basically that I'm going to be having a bad time next turn.
It's good for all of us.
Not even an
It's good for
energy
everyone.
is scary. How many energy are in the bin? 3.
Well, and do you know what's really powerful here? If Matt's able to find the Lysander Labs this turn, he can take a knockout for 2 prizes on the 2 Pokemon that you attach Shedinja to.
That does sound pretty good. Alright, so I haven't supported.
Oh yeah, he's already used the GX.
Oh, you have GX'd already.
Oh no.
What are we...
Then why did we attach the energy to the active for?
You've been freaking me out this whole time.
I was just going along with it. It was working to my favour.
Well, I mean, I almost decked myself out going for it.
Yeah! Stamp him!
If I play another card, then I can get decked out by Stamp, so...
That was my fault. I forced Jordan into that by panicking him.
Yeah, man, you riled me up. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just going to use Shedinja onto a Zeb Striker, and then it's your turn.
So how many cards you got?
I got 4 in hand and 3 in deck.
So he's not going to be able to...
And there's a Pal Pad here. In fact, you know what these 3 cards are because I didn't shuffle. It's the 3 cards I got back with Resource Management.
Oh no. See, I'm glad I'm
Alright.
not playing this game. Otherwise I'd just be GXing every turn.
That'd be pretty powerful. And it's funny because like I was playing earlier as if I was like, cool, I can ditch all these cards, I don't need them because you can't tag bolt. And then as soon as tag bolt gets mentioned, I'm like, oh crap, I've discarded all these
I've
cards.
discarded all the cards. He could tag vault me.
I mean, to be fair, I can't really choose what cards I discard, but I'm playing this deck anyway. They kind of just go to the discard pile. That's alright. Alright, so there's a 6 NG Pikachu in the active. He's pretty scary.
Alright, we'll just full blitz.
How exciting.
Let's find some more
Attach
energy.
one of the Pikachu.
I mean, you can fail the search, just saying. You don't have to squeeze every energy out of your deck if you don't want to. But he's doing it. He's spreading his energy around. Alright, draw for turn.
Prepping for a second tingly return.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, tag bolt.
Yeah.
Bench Orangaroo. I'm going to use Reset Stamp.
Cool.
'Cause why not? I'm going to...
Do you have any energy left, Jordan?
I've got a Brock. Well, I've got a Pal Pad. And Pal Pad gets
Palpad
Brock.
gets a Brock, right. Okay.
But it is awkward though because, well, I've only got 2 sprints now, so I can sprint into the Brock, like into the Pal Pad, and then sprint into the Brock. But then I can't draw the cards off the Brock, so I've actually kind of got myself in a really awkward spot here. I think I might be.
Just
in
imagine
a
if
bit
that
of trouble.
rabid fan hadn't have yelled out about tag bolt. Imagine if you had played normally.
That's alright. It might get Matt 1 prize card. Although, wait, I'm actually kind of in stamp range now. I might have played myself out of this game. I'll see if I can salvage. How many stamps have you used? Hopefully you've used them all and I don't have to worry about it. But it seems like that's not the case.
So there
okay.
you go. If
Here's
you're,
what I have to
playing
do.
if you're playing against Shedinja at Worlds, all you need to do is just yell tag bolt at them.
I'm going to use Sprint. I'm going to draw these 2 cards. I'm going to play Power Pad. Get 2 Brocks back. I'm pretty sure there's 2 Brocks in here. There might only be 1. I can't remember. Oh, there's 2. Cool. And then I'm going to use my second Sprint, Sky Shrine, to draw the 2 Brocks. I'll play 1 Brock. It's going to get me back a bunch of cool stuff. I need those.
So you used your second sprint?
Yes, I've used both sprints, and I've used my supporter, so I'm
So
not.
you won't be
Yeah,
getting
all
anything
my
else.
hand is just a Brock sprint now.
Yep.
So you're going to be able to take a prize at some point. So I need 2 energy. I need a Rangaroo. This is where it gets kind of tight because I'm starting to freak out a little here. I need Shedinja, I would say. And what's the last card going to be? I suppose it's probably just going to be a Blitzel at this point. So I'm going to want to eventually set up a third
Sure you
Zeb Striker.
Sure you don't want to get the Mew for the potential tag bolt?
Oh yeah, I probably should. Hey. Right, that's in my hand. Those are in the discard. And then it's your turn.
Alright. Draw.
Let's chuck some damage on the board, because why not?
Okay. So I can get a prize.
Yeah, I could have delayed the prize this turn, but then I would be giving you a prize next turn
in
instead.
a worse position than the
So
next
I'll
turn.
just give you the Shedinja here.
6.
If you want to gust around it and waste your chance to get a prize later, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that.
Well, you're going to get a prize here, and you're also going to get a prize next turn. In theory.
Electropower. Then I reckon...
This is real dicey.
Mm.
What is good for me is you've only got 1 lab
Lily
left
for 4.
and only 1 custom capture set, I think.
2, 3, 4.
Maybe I should have used the Shedinja actually, because I'm not going to have Shedinja next turn. I think that was an oversight by me. That's alright.
Alright, so... yeah, we'll just... full blitz.
Taking the KO, 10 damage.
Here's some more dice.
Yep, that's relevant.
Yeah, more dice.
Okay, I'm going to bench Ninkata,
Thank you.
play Brock, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of cool cards back. 4, 5, and what's the next one going to be? I suppose just another Ninkata maybe. Let's go with that. Alright, so my deck is my 2 Brock targets. That's the cards in my
Pokemon
deck.
and Energy seems pretty good.
I get to draw 8 of them.
Just imagine if none of the energy rock up. That'd be so funny.
I feel like it's pretty likely I'm going to hit this time. I grabbed
You
extra
said
energy.
that last 2 times this has happened.
Yeah, but this time I feel like it's even more likely. Alright, so I'll use the first
It's going to
sprint.
be even sweeter when he
It's
doesn't
going to be
get
an
it.
energy. Look at that, first card.
It was the second card.
First card.
It was actively the second card.
Shh.
Quite you.
You don't get an opinion on what order my cards are drawn in. Attach that there. I suppose.
You showed everyone the first card. It couldn't have been the first card.
Bench a Rangaroo. We'll go. Can I second sprint? I don't really need to be honest. I can probably just hold on to this Shedinja and use resource management. I'm going to grab
Tick.
Power Pad.
Tick.
I'm going to grab Stamp.
Tick.
And we're going to grab
Tick. Draw.
Shrine. That seems fine.
Okay.
I have to be careful now.
Alright.
You gotta watch out for that tag bolt, Jordan.
I do have to watch out for Tag Bolt, don't I, Mitch? We even made a point about pointed out that the
that
GX
now-
counter needs to be flipped.
Yeah, we did. It was embarrassing for everyone.
That's alright. Oh, this custom catcher looks scary.
Okay.
Is this a second custom catcher or a first custom catcher?
This is the 3rd one, actually.
Well, I mean, in your hand, is it the first or the second? If it's the second, then
the
I'm a little
second
scared. Oh, it's the second one. Oh boy.
Tightening Carter.
That makes sense to me.
This means that Matt gets an extra turn with
Full blitz.
Yep.
And I get to tick.
prizes. I'm just gonna have a look at your discard there, Matt.
Well, he's got 1 Lysander Labs left, which is really scary in my opinion.
Yeah, so the 2 custom catches have been used. There's going to be a knockout this turn, and then the Lysander Labs gives him the last knockout for the game. So
Okay, so I'm going to use my first sprint, draw 4 cards. And then... Do I even need to play any other cards? I feel like I don't really need to play any more cards. I can attach here, I suppose. And go for resource management. Gonna grab back
Tick.
Brock. Suppose Surge maybe instead of Brock.
Well, it could be potentially a good turn for those double custom.
I was
catches.
actually thinking the exact same thing just then.
Draw.
Because if I have a quick look at his discard, you can start your turn if you want. It doesn't really matter. There's 6, 7, 8 energy on
going to.
board.
I wasn't waiting for you
9,
to
10.
say.
Okay, so you've actually got no energy left in deck. So you have been full blitzing a whole bunch of energy out of deck, but you've still got energy switches and stuff. So yeah, you've got options. But I think I am going to grab the double custom catcher for the time being. Seems like a pretty safe play overall.
Dance away to the ancients.
There you go. Well, there goes that plane.
Yeah.
It's gone now. Everyone's got an energy on it with Dance of the Ancients.
That's fine. How many turns do I have to survive before I win the game, though? It's not that many, right?
3.
Like, it's a few.
3 for the Denes. That's 4
So like 5
prizes
turns?
there.
Trip out.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, imagine if he hadn't used Tingly Return. I mean, I would have been tag bolted and it would have sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I'd be closer to winning.
There'd be a chance. There would be a chance.
How many cards you got?
I got 3 cards in hand and more than 3 in deck. All I care about is having 7 cards total, and I should never be able to get stamped. You're going to stamp me anyway. That seems fair.
Because I want to Erica for 6.
Yep. And what's annoying about the stamp is my double custom catcher is they're no longer next to each other in my deck in theory. Like they've now been separated, and I need them to be right next to each other. Otherwise, I'm probably going to draw one and be forced to sprint it away. But to be fair, what good's the double custom catcher going to do me at this point?
Right now, it's not a massive deal.
Full blitz for the knockout.
Yep. Hopefully for me, that's your last prize card, but no promises.
No, that's
so
the
take the shrine damage.
What
And I
humour.
draw 6 cards. Oh, that's a lot of cards. 5, 6.
And you're
Okay.
more than welcome to draw for turn as well.
Oh yeah, 7 cards. That's even more than 6. I didn't even draw the double custom catcher. Not that it really matters.
Yes,
Alright.
you did.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't.
No, I did. Not that it matters. Alright, so I'm going to stamp you to 1. That's a solid start. And I've got an interesting strategy here.
just Eric.
So I'm going to power pad here. And I've got, what I'm wanting to do this turn is I'm going to try and use Mars and discard the only card in your hand. And I'm hoping that it's the Lysander Labs. Because if you just draw into the Lysander Labs and I'm able to discard it, then I feel like I just win the game at that point. So we're going to get the Mars back. So we're going to get Brock, and I believe the Surge is in deck still. So in theory, I can play all 3 of those supporters. And I'd be feeling pretty good about limiting you from doing what you want to do next turn if I can pull that off.
Well, it'd be unfortunate if you didn't draw into the to the Surge this turn. That would be the big problem.
Well, yeah, there's 6 cards in deck, so I'm feeling pretty confident.
This happened before.
This time I got 3
Yeah,
sprints
so
though.
you probably should. Well, you get all the cards. It's a
Yeah,
question
I
of
do
whether you
get
get
all the
Surge
cards.
first.
So do I want to use custom catcher? Not really, to be honest. I'm happy to just sprint it away. Draw 4 of these 6 cards. Is the Surge here? Ooh, he's here. In fact, I got all 3
All
of the
3 of them.
supporters. That's pretty impressive.
Nice.
So I'm going to play Surge.
Yep.
I'm going to play... Actually, wait, is there a Shedinja in deck? Let me just double check, because if there's a Shedinja in
I
deck...
was just about to go and look through your deck.
Well, I mean, I could. It'd be faster. But hey, let's just do it this way.
There
There is a Shedinja in
There
deck, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if there's one prized, but let's go for the Mars. Draw 2 cards and discard that. Is it the Labs? Nah, that's alright. Alright, we've got the Shedinja. We've got the Brock's Grit. I'm going to grab
Let's see.
Ninkata, Energy. In fact, I also just want to grab a bunch of Ninkatas back just to make sure I get it off of this next upcoming sprint. So I've got 1 sprint left, I think, or is it 2? I don't know. I'm not going to be using 2 more anyway.
I think you got 2 because you masked for your last 2 cards.
Yeah, that's correct. Man, Surge is a pretty good card. You just get to do a bunch of cool stuff.
You get to play a bunch of things.
Alright, so these get shuffled, and I get to use 1 more sprint.
If you choose.
It is a little risky because if I draw 4 and then shuffle, no, I'll still be safe from stamp, I think.
Well, and you've got the Orangaroo.
Yeah. So whatever it is, sprint. I've lost count at this point, but it doesn't really matter. Bench the Ninkata, attach Shedinja, and we're going to resource management. I'm going to grab Lieutenant Surge,
Oh.
Stamp, and Where's the other one? There's another card in here. There it is, Palpad.
And this is exciting for me because next turn...
Have you done the shrine damage?
Yes, he has.
Sweet.
Next turn, I get to give Matt more dice.
That's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
I'm getting very close to being able to just, draw a bunch of prize cards. I only have to realistically survive like a couple more turns without him drawing the labs. And I think at this point the labs is your only win condition, so it's just going to be a race to see when you draw it. Do you draw it on the turn that Mars or on the turn, for the start of your turn?
Yeah, the turn after.
Which is just swap sides of the table. He's abandoned me to go hang out with Matt and see if he's got the labs in hand. I feel like he probably doesn't.
Yeah, he would have played it if he had it.
Mitch was very curious. He couldn't hold the suspense, so he wanted to go and see if the labs is the card that he drew. Seems like it's not.
Full Blitz.
Full Blitz, just taking the regular knockout. Seems fair. Draw for turn.
Is the card actually in deck? Is Lysander Labs in deck?
Is it this card? Do you know? I'm assuming you know.
It's in there.
Alright, it's in there somewhere. So we're going to bench Oranguru. Going to bench Ninkata. Attach an energy to Oranguru. And then use the first sprint. Going to draw these last 4 cards. And hey, these are some pretty good cards. I got a Shedinja. Got a Surge. Got a Palpad. And with the Palpad, I'm going to grab Mars and Brock. So I'm in the position now where I can kind of infinitely loop the play I want to make. So I'm actually going to stamp you again. And I'm actually hoping you draw the Mars. Sorry, not the Mars, the Lysander Labs. Because if you can draw it and I mill it, then I just almost win the game. So I use the second sprint. Draw these last 2 cards. I'll play the Mars. And you'll just have to discard the top card of your deck.
Are you playing it now?
Yep, playing the Mars. What do we got? That's alright. Now I'll play the Brock.
At least he's thinning my deck out.
Yeah, he's giving you a chance.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what else do I need?
So essentially, Matt, you've got like a 50-50 chance of winning the game here.
Yeah, I can't tell how many... I don't know how many cards you've got in deck, but it's certainly not heaps.
We got 1, 6... So I got 3 turns on those. 2 turns on them. Yeah.
You might lose.
Alright, I'll use Shedinja onto the Oranguru. And can I sprint again if I draw 4 cards? Yeah, I can. So I'll sprint one more time, draw these 4 cards, and use Resource Management. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to get Return Surge, Palpad, and Stamp.
That's the classic loop that Jordan has now entered. And we're at the point where...
There's just a few more turns I have to survive. The real question is, are you going to...
Full Blitz.
Alright, I'm losing another Oranguru. The suspense is killing me. Alright.
That's alright, all the fans and the viewers can see Jordan playing cards by himself.
Yep, it's very exciting times. First sprint. Ooh, these are 4 pretty good cards. Got Oranguru, got Surge, got Stamp, shuffle that in. Use Power Pad, I'm not even too fussed about what's going on. Yep, playing the Stamp.
I better shuffle this.
Use my second sprint to draw these 2 cards. Then I'll play the Brock. We'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then
I've got to know.
Play the Mars. What do we got this time?
It was a good card.
It is a good card. That's a card that I definitely didn't want you to draw.
It's not the winning card.
It's not.
So I draw 2 off the Mars. Activate Shedinja.
Shedinja, activate.
Attach energy. Bench Ninkata. And then Resource Management. 1, 2, 3.
Tick.
How close am I to taking prizes? I feel like I'm getting pretty close.
Tick.
How close?
After mine.
It's 150 on both the Denays. So
6.
Oh my gosh. I'm so scared
2,
right now.
3.
Yay!
No!
He's done it!
6.
The Denate away.
I got so close. One more turn, I would have taken 4
Blitz.
prizes. And
There it is.
That's the game. And I have a feeling that was probably one of those best of 1 games. I don't know how long this game's been going for.
I think we're...
I don't think we would fit a second one in a normal...
Oh, well, we're actually okay. Like, this was... I think it was much quicker than our other video, I think. So, we've done a good job.
Well, are we going to play a second game then, or wrap it up there? I'm
happy
not
to go
fussed
again.
either way.
Happy to go again?
Yeah.
I can't believe that was only game 1.
How long was that?
So that was 35 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, that's
still
not a heaps of time, but it's potential for a second game.
But let's put it this way. Shedinja's probably not going to win.
Yeah, at the moment, Shedinja's basically just going to be
We're just
hoping...
play for fun.
I was going to say hoping for a donk, but I don't think that's possible.
All I got to do is get you into a flurry of thing, and I'm going to full blitz.
Yep, seems like a fine strategy.
Yep.
To be fair, if I'm completely honest, I don't think it really affected anything in that game, because even if, like, regardless of whether you had tag ball active or not, I was still going to be sprinting all those cards away. I was still going to be digging as much as I could. It just maybe affected like the way I sorted out my bench a little bit, but really I don't think it would have impacted the result of the game there. So it's just a pretty tough matchup to deal with when you've got custom catches, you've got Lysander Labs, you've got spread potential. It's pretty tough to deal with all those different win conditions, but it's a pretty close matchup, I would say.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we've made a particular note to play decks that could potentially beat Shedinja here as well. Like, that loop against other decks can very easily come out on top. And we've picked, obviously, Pikarom and last time Giratina Garchomp, because they have ways to get around it. Because, I don't know about you guys, but it's not particularly interesting to sit and watch someone just infinitely loop until they deck out. So we just kind of picked some decks that we're going to have a chance to play some games. And I think that's the key for World Championships. If you're expecting Shedinja, which I probably would, make sure that you've got an out to beating it. Because if you've got an out to beating it, you usually will win. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, for the most part, I would say that's typically true. And as the Shedinja player, I wouldn't mind being out of this infinite loop. It's not too bad of a time for me. But even as the Shedinja player, I would very quickly get bored of playing that game.
Yeah, just loop forever and just let's see what happens.
Alright, gonna Pokecom for a Blitzel, because that is the first priority. You'd think it's Ninkata, but it's definitely Zebstrika. I would take Zebstrika over Shedinja any day in this deck. And I don't have an Elm this time. It's going to be the first time having a turn 1 without Elm in it. But I've got a draw supporter at least. I'm going to thin this out of deck just so I don't redraw it. And play the Tantalizer, shuffle, draw 5 cards. For people wondering at home what the Electro Power is in this list for, it does actually allow you to attack with Zebstrika in certain scenarios, which is pretty strong. You can, you've got time. A lot of the scenarios where you can double attach to a Zebstrika, use a couple Electro Powers, maybe knock out something that's annoying you, like a Ninetales or an Oranguru that's causing this deck problems. But for the most part, it's not super important in the early game. So grab 5 cards. Hopefully I can get a couple more useful Pokemon. It's pretty average, but I'll take it. I got a Pokecom. Can get rid of a Shedinja. And I think I'm actually going to grab a Ninkata here. Usually I'd grab a Blitzel, but my hand is suggesting that Ninkata is a better card to target here, and that'll be a pass from me.
Alright, draw for turn. Also, I'm going to thin out with an Electro Power, because I don't think I need it in this matchup.
I mean, they had the potential to be useful last game if you had the triple E-Power with Tingly Return, but yeah, I would be very surprised if it came up in this game.
Now, question is, I reckon we might go and use that.
Oh, he's gone for the different approach in this matchup. Going for the Raichu Tag Team GX.
So I can Lily for 5.
I have a feeling you're using it more because it was the one that you opened with and not because it's your preferable attacker. But honestly, they're basically the same. I don't think it really matters which one you use.
Well, in this matchup, it's not going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, if I'm smart, I'll actually bench the Mew if he threatens a Tag Bolt. So I don't think that's going to be a problem this time.
Yeah, we'll pass.
Just a pass. Bit of a slow start for Pikachu, I would say. Alright, so I've got the Shedinja and the Zebstrika in hand. May as well play down the Shrine Punishment. I would like to save it for a more important turn, but it's about to be sprinted away anyway. So go ahead and use my Sprint. See if I can get a little bit more going here. Not a bad hand. Got a second Blitzel to put down. And I don't believe I've played a draw supporter, or supporter in general, so I can play Cynthia, find a few more cards. What I'm really looking for, honestly, right now is just another Blitzel, really. Like, the Ninkata isn't important because you didn't take a knockout last turn, so I can just put the Shedinja on the active and I'm pretty safe. The Ninkata would be nice, but I don't really feel like I'm super threatened by your board right now, to be honest.
Oh, looks can be deceiving.
And that's true. Pikachu can kind of just come out of nowhere.
Well, to be fair, that Raichu could take a knockout next turn very easily, so...
It certainly could. So I'm, just for safety purposes, going to put the Shedinja on the active. Don't find access to an Ninkata, but that's okay. As I said, I'm not too worried. Even if I give up a prize early, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to... Do I even use Resource Management? I probably do. It's probably worth doing overall. I'm going to bench this just in case as well. So I'll go for Resource Management. I'll grab back Ninkata. I think I'll grab back Pokemon Communication. Just help me set up a bit. And I can even get back Electro Power or Cynthia, but for now, I think I'm going to be using the Electro Power, so just chuck the Cynthia back in. If I ever shuffle my deck, those would be good cards to draw into.
Alright, so we draw for turn, attach energy, Now I reckon.
There's no lightning engine in the discard pile, so it's a bit awkward for you to pull off something like a Tapu Koko Prism right now. But it's really easy to find cards. Like in theory, if you have Thunder Mountain, then all you really need is a Zero Aura GX and an Engie Switch, and you're already there. So there's definitely a lot of card combinations that will get you this knockout. And if you get the knockout this turn, you don't get a prize, but you guarantee that you will be able to take a prize on the following turn, which is pretty strong. Although now that I think about it, what is a bit awkward about the Raichu tag team is if you don't constantly switch every turn, you're only actually doing 80 damage. It's not great.
5, 6. Cool.
One of the good things though about having energy on the Alolan Raichu is that it's a tag team, so tag switch becomes a much more useful card if that's a card that Matt is running at the moment.
How many cards you got?
Alright, in hand I believe I got 5. Gonna stamp me, are ya?
Nah. You can go. Go for it.
Go for it. Alright, trigger the shrine, draw for turn. Ooh, that's a Zip Striker. Oh, I already have one in hand. That's disappointing. I thought I got a good top deck then.
I thought everything was going well, but alas, it was not to be.
That's alright. I'm gonna play Elm here. Elm seems like a pretty strong card here. I'm gonna grab Nincada. Gonna grab a Blitzel, and I'm gonna grab a Shedinja. Grab those 3 to hand. Shedinja, one of the few evolved Pokemon that, in fact, it might be the only evolved Pokemon that actually has the same amount of HP as the Pokemon it's evolving from. I think there was a Froakie that evolved into a Frogadier that had the same HP, but it's not very often that you don't get a HP buff for evolving, so good news for Elm at least.
Well, I mean, you get the HP buff of not taking a prize, so...
Yeah, that's kind of HP buff, isn't it? Close enough, at least. Yeah, I'm just going to put those guys on the bench, and I'm kind of happy to just pass, because I don't think there's anything in the discard pile right now that I want to get back. Yeah, I'm just going to pass it over to you.
Alright, draw for turn.
Some shrine damage.
Struggling with that too there, Jordan.
Yeah, I believe it's supposed to. Oh, it's 3, is it? I moved it from 2 to 2. Well played, Jordan.
Good effort.
It took me a while to do it as well.
It did, yeah. You really struggled. He was like, why can't I find it?
So, I think what we can do is we might just go in on... We'll attach return.
Still powering up that Raichu tag team.
Yeah.
It's probably a better attacker than Zero Aura, because even though you need a switch to be able to do the extra damage, unlike Zero Aura, you can still do damage without a switch.
That's true, yeah.
4, 5.
Oh man, I've played right into his hands with the Erica there, filling up my bench.
That's just evidence of how good Erica is in this format, because I mean, there's so much going on with it. You can get so many cards so frequently. As long as you're not playing against Reshizard, then you're always Erica-ing for 2.
And even then, some builds of Reshizard are playing cards like, playing the Jirachi Salazzle Ninetales build, which benches a whole bunch of Pokemon. It's probably not the most popular build, but I think it's pretty strong.
Alright, and then we'll just knock it out.
Knock it out, take some shrine damage, but don't take a prize card.
3, 4.
Pretty disgusting when he's the one taking knockouts and I'm dealing more damage than he is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, take 30 damage.
Alright, so I've got myself my 3 Zep Strikers in play and a Shedinja, so I'm feeling pretty good. That's kind of the board that I almost always want to be in. Do I have any Spores in discard I want to get back? Not really at this point, so I think I'm just going to... Oh, I could Pokegear 3.0. See if I get something decent here. There's nothing too important I could find this turn though. Got Surge, that doesn't work. I won't grab that. And I think I'll just use my first Sprint. Get rid of all those. All I really need this turn is a Nincada, and I'll be feeling pretty good. Even an Angie right now isn't that important because there's not really any important resources in my discard pile except for that Power Pad I just discarded, and I've got plenty of time to get that back.
I think the key here is just making sure that you get another Shedinja down, and that Nincada will do the job.
Yep, that Nincada will do the job. And because I haven't played a supporter, I actually have a luxury turn here where I can just throw a Mars down and hopefully get lucky and snag an important resource. If I snag a custom catcher here or something, I'd be feeling pretty good. I'm going to go for this one here. It's a Lightning Energy. That probably helps you.
Yeah, that's actually really good for Matt, because now I can accelerate further.
So I don't need to attach to a Rangaroo this turn, so I'm actually going to settle for attaching to a Zeb Striker, and I think I'll Pokecom for the Nincada back into deck.
Yep.
And maybe even just grab the Nincada back, honestly. There's nothing else that I really need. What's in my hand? It's a Lightning Energy. So we're going to grab the Nincada back. I was just having a quick look at my deck. I'm going to activate Shedinja onto the Rangaroo. Bench Nincada. Use my second Sprint. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I'm happy to pass it over there.
Alright.
Go for him. Are you done the shrine already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Easy.
Okay. Alright, so I reckon we'll start with a Volkner.
Seems fair to me.
Grabbing that lightning energy and an item of choice.
I imagine the item of choice that comes to my mind would be either a switch or energy switch. Depends on if he wants to try and power up something on the bench or keep on using this Raichu tag team. But the fact you're getting electromagnetic radar means one of two things to me. It means either your hand's bad or it means you've already got the card you need.
It means, yeah, the hands either really bad or really good.
Okay, so we'll get that.
I would say Pikachu is usually the attack you want to use in this matchup.
Yeah.
Just because of the efficiency. You don't need to do anything. You just declare 150 damage every turn.
That's right.
And you can threaten that tag bolt and force me to put a Mew down if I'm not ready to do so. And I'll also freak out a lot.
That's right. That's what we want. Alright.
I don't think it's happening anytime soon though.
So does this list play tag switch,
I
Jordan?
believe this one is all E-switch, just 4 E-switch. Because tag switch, while a strong card, it is a little situational. So the E-switch
Dense.
most of the time does the same thing tag switch does. All of a sudden, that's not looking too unlikely though that you're actually going to be able to pull off at least a full blitz. Maybe not a full powered tag bolt, but I wouldn't be too surprised if a full blitz comes off here.
So we've supported. Alright, we'll just do donate change.
Oh, I'm really
Gets rid
happy
of
to
those
see custom catcher.
Yeah, custom catcher and 2 stamps.
2 stamps. Stamp isn't really an important resource in this matchup, but yeah, that custom catcher. That basically means you just gave up a prize card later on in the game. Not that we're going to get to later on in the game, because if this was a real tournament game, I would be basically timed out here, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually check the time now. Let me have a look, because
Poker comes.
I don't want to waste any more of the people's time than we have to.
Of course.
So there's about 3 more minutes until time would be called.
Yeah. So we can tell that this game would end in Matt's favour. I don't think I'm going to be able to win the game in the next 5 minutes or so. Although, to be fair, I think I am pretty close to almost locking this game up if there was no time limit. I mean, obviously there is a time limit. That's like we have to factor in. But the fact that you haven't taken a single prize before I've set myself up perfectly, and you've already wasted a custom catcher, means that if you use the rest of your resources perfectly, you're still not going to be able to take all 6 prizes unless I screw up my Shedinja chain at some point. Like, you would have to time a tag bolt perfectly to have a chance of coming back into the game, because you really do need to take a prize or 2 before this deck properly steps up, I would say.
So we'll just hit you for 80.
Just doing 80 damage, giving me a little leeway here. Don't have to find myself another Oranguru. Not that it really matters that much. I've got to put 20 more damage on my
Yeah, it's only 60, I was about to say.
Alright, draw for turn. Oh, that's a kind of cool card. Got a Shedinja there. Pokemon Communication. Grab another Shedinja. And I'm feeling pretty good right now. I might even consider using resource management in the near future. To be fair though, if I was trying to win this game, I'd probably be going more aggressive with Zebstrika. So maybe I'll try that out and see if that works. I think my switch is in discard though, so the fact that you didn't knock me out then would actually stop me from trying to win the game quickly with Zebstrika. Since I didn't shuffle switch in last turn. So I'm just going to play that, may as well. Is it even worth using Brock here? There's nothing too special in discard. Yeah, there's a few cards in here. I'll use Brock. I think that's just the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shuffle those in. And then I'll draw 4 cards, followed by a few more 4-card draws. And then probably end my turn. That's how I predict this turn to go. So I'll do my first draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, I'll attach an energy to active. I'm not even going to bother playing this because I don't really care. Draw 4 more cards. And then, you know what? Let's draw another 4 more cards. Just trying to get through my deck as fast as possible. This deck is at its strongest once you get down to those like 10 or less card decks. Yeah. And yeah, I'll just resource management. Give you some damage on the board. Getting Brock. I am going to grab the Power Pad because that's a pretty strong card. And I'm going to grab the Switch as well. Those are probably the most valuable cards I can take at this point.
Alright, draw. Yeah. Attach for turn.
Pikachu is finally ready to start taking consecutive knockouts for the rest of the game.
Faulkner.
Could even maybe go for a tag bolt here if you had like a whole bunch of energy switches. I don't know how many you've used. You've used one energy switch. So if you had like a triple energy switch hand, you could very realistically go for a tag bolt here, take at least one prize. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous that the fully powered tag bolt could ever only take one prize card, but hey, it's a possibility.
Those two.
That is time in the round. So what we'll do, just for the sake of the tournament, we'll just, like the tournament rules, we'll just play this out as if it were time. So Matt's turn 0, because I mean otherwise we'll be here forever, and we have to actually upload the video.
Correct.
So
we'll see how well I was able to get into my deck by the end of 3 turns.
See how close you get to 0 cards.
Retreats through Sarah Aura.
So we've both set up pretty well this game. It's just that your setup just wasn't fast enough, so I feel like there's no way you can easily take 6 prizes for the rest of this game.
1, 2.
Threaten the tag ball.
He's threatening the tag ball. Alright, so at least there's going to be something interesting to talk about in these last 3 turns. We're going to see if I'm able to deal with this tag ball.
Nope, you can.
I probably can.
Just immediately can.
So I'm going to play Pokemon Communication, shuffling in Zeb Striker, and I'm actually going to grab the... Hey, is me prized? No, it's not. Wait, yes it is. Maybe it is.
Is me prized?
There's a good chance that Mew's prized. Let me just have a quick look in here. Or Mitch can just look at my prize cards. Okay, Mew's prized. That's pretty funny.
Mew is prized.
Well, it doesn't matter. That makes my turn a lot much easier, doesn't it?
You don't need to worry about it now.
But once again, I really don't feel like I'm in a bad position because, like, you've already not taken any prize cards and you've already burnt some of your resources that you need to take prize cards. So even if you get like a 2 prize tag ball, I think I can stop you from finishing off the game, realistically. It's annoying, you haven't taken any prizes yet. I can't even use Surge.
You can't get your loot going.
No. See, that's the weakness against this deck. If your opponent's not very good at the game.
Oh, well, that's
they
rude.
can't take prize cards.
Come on, man.
This coming from the one that lost last game.
Oh, this is true. This is true. I'm also not very good at the game. Alright, I'll grab 6 cards. See if I can draw an energy. It's probably all I really need this turn. Hey, look, I drew an energy. How exciting. Go for Shedinja.
Jordan cannot contain his excitement.
Man, I get really excited when I take prizes with this deck. It just doesn't happen very often. I've still got a bunch of sprints, so like I should probably bench an Inkata. So I guess I'll go for that. I'll sprint. Draw 4 cards. Nope.
I don't like those.
Yeah, sure. Draw 6 cards if you want. I'll power pad, I guess.
Alright.
I'm pretending that the game's still going. Because alright, this would be turn 1 for me, so I get one more turn after this. So I've got to win next turn, guys. I got this. Got my 3rd sprint coming up here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, is that a custom catcher? Oh, it is. I can draw 2 cards. 1, 2. Nope, there's an Inkata. Sprint. Hey, I'm drawing like all my cards. Hey, look, it's an Inkata. Custom catcher for 1. Pass. I did it.
He's done it. He drew the roll. What a madman.
And he can't even stamp me to get my deck back. Man, I wasn't even planning on doing that, but I just saw the potential. I'm like,
Switch.
Pulling 2 cards and a custom catcher. It's 1 card in deck. It just had to happen.
What is he doing here? We're going for like a tingly return?
Power.
Oh man, I'd be down for a tingly return.
I need to know what is going on in Matt's brain right now.
I think he wants to take 2 prizes with a tag bolt. Like maybe Gust kill these 2 could be pretty fun. But let's see what happens. It's the final turn of the game. So I'll be excited to see what he can come up with. It looks like he's not going for custom catcher. I mean, maybe he was, but he was 1 card off, so it's not going to happen.
I wanted the stadium is what I wanted.
Oh, you want the stadium. You want
to take 2 prizes.
I mean, custom catcher would have done the same thing, but that is fair.
Electromagnetic radar. See what's in here.
That's probably going to be the last card Matt plays this game, because I don't think he's going to be able to play any of the cards he finds off this mate radar.
Alright, and we'll tag vault and we'll knock out Shedinja.
Knocking out my Shedinja.
Yep.
Damn. Alright. You
I
win.
take a prize. I win.
Yeah.
Took
'Cause
1
I've got
prize
5
card.
left. That's the way it works, isn't it? Is it time?
Something like that. Time was well in the past.
So you can see here, Shedinja obviously needs to win its first game. So like if you're playing Shedinja at Worlds, you're playing best of 1 for the entire day. So
like if that game was game 1, I think I would win that set.
Yeah, I think so too.
It wasn't. It was game 2.
Yeah, And here's the thing: if you're playing against Shedinja and you get into that situation, like if I'm Matt and I'm playing at Worlds, I see that happen. I go, okay, well, I'm just going to scoop 10 minutes into this game because I'm probably going to lose.
Yeah.
And we'll just take 40 minutes so that I can come back for a tie. So
it's awkward for both players.
Yeah, exactly. So it becomes a bit of a tedious thing. But hey, thanks Matt and Jordan for coming along.
No
problem.
I think that's probably enough Shedinja for now.
Thank God.
I think this is the last video that we have of our traditional training center stuff. Our next video is going to be our tier list of the best decks to play in the world format, followed by a bunch of just testing of the top tier decks, because we haven't tested every deck against everything and we want to show off lots of different matchups as well. So this is the last kind of chance we get to see more interesting lists. But hey, if you like the content, please consider subscribing by clicking the sable eye in the middle of the screen. On the left hand side, we've got some videos that YouTube thinks that you'll like, and on the right we have our Unified Minds Worlds Training Center playlist to see more Shedinja footage, because that's what we're all about. Thanks very much for coming along, and we'll see you all next time for more from the Sable Eyes. Bye.